never thought I'd hear from her again, not after all these years. But there it was. A letter on my doorstep, no stamp, just my name written in handwriting far too familiar to be coincidence. Daniel glanced over my shoulder as I opened the envelope. My son, my little Daniel, now a respected priest in the local diocese, always so proper, so close to God. He never asked where the letter came from. Maybe he already knew. It read only, "You know who he really is." My hands shook. It had been decades since I last heard from her, the woman who nearly destroyed my family. And now she was back, as if time meant nothing. That night Daniel prayed for me at dinner. I asked him to stop. It wasn't prayer I needed. It was truth. Daniel has always been a man of faith, but lately I've seen cracks in his devotion. When he thinks I'm not looking, he stares at his phone like it holds the weight of the world, like it's pulling him somewhere he can't tell me. I confronted him after dinner. I showed him the letter. His face went pale, not with shock but recognition. "Burn it," he whispered, "and forget you ever saw it." But I couldn't, not anymore. I started digging through old boxes in the attic, searching for anything that might explain why she would write to me now. And then I found it, a faded photo of Daniel at 18, standing beside someone I hadn't seen in over 20 years. My heart stopped. There was something between them once, something real, something he never told me about. If your heart is racing, like mine, hit that like button, subscribe if you're hooked, and comment, "Secret." Leave that word below if you think Daniel's hiding more than just his past. I couldn't sleep. The photo haunted me. Daniel, young and smiling beside her. Rebecca Carter. She was just a girl back then, a summer intern at the church. Beautiful, quiet, always lingering near Daniel during youth group events. I thought it was innocence, friendship, maybe even admiration. But now I know it was more. I found an old journal hidden in the back of my late husband's desk. He never liked Rebecca, always warned me about her. But one entry changed everything. "Maggie doesn't know, but she will. This isn't over." And then another line that shattered me completely. "He looks just like his father." No, it couldn't be. Daniel wasn't just hiding a past love. He was hiding a child, their child. I stared at him this morning while he drank coffee by the window. Same eyes, same smile, same stubborn silence. Daniel left early this morning. Didn't say where. Didn't say when he'd be back. I stood at the window, watching his car disappear down the road, just like his father used to do when things got too pesado para carregar sozinho. But I'm not letting him run from this. I called the parish office pretending to be a parishioner needing old records. They confirmed it. Rebecca was registered as a youth volunteer in the summer of 1998. The same year Daniel went silent for 3 months. The same year my husband started drinking again. I feel like a stranger in my own home now. Every photo on the wall, every candle by the altar, they all feel like part of a lie. When Daniel came back, he looked at me like he already knew what I'd found. "Maggie," he said, voice trembling, "you're not ready for this, but I am. If you're holding your breath like I am, hit subscribe, like this video, and comment silence. Leave that word if you think silence is the loudest form of guilt." I followed him. Daniel doesn't know I'm capable of something like that. He still sees me as the woman who lights candles and says prayers, not the one who digs through trash bins behind abandoned churches or waits in a parked car for hours just to see the truth with her own eyes. I found her, Rebecca, working at a small bookstore in Waco. She didn't recognize me at first, but when I said Daniel's name, her face went white. She has a daughter. His daughter, 17 now. Same dark eyes, same quiet strength. They never told her who her father was. When I asked why, Rebecca looked at me with tears in her eyes and said, "He chose God. We weren't part of that plan. It broke something in me. My son, the man I raised, the boy I held after every nightmare. He had a second chance at being a father and he walked away. I confronted him tonight. Not with anger, not with tears, but with the truth, raw, unfiltered, and undeniable. Daniel didn't deny it. He just stood there, staring at the floor like it could swallow him whole. I thought I was doing the right thing, he finally said. For all of us. But what kind of man chooses God over his own blood? I told him about Emily, his daughter. His face crumpled in a way I'd never seen before, like a man who just realized he's been mourning someone his whole life without even knowing they existed. He asked me not to tell her. She has a good life, he whispered. I don't want to ruin it. But how can he call it a good life if it's built on a lie? Tomorrow I'm going back to Waco. Whether he likes it or not, Emily deserves to know where she comes from, and so does he. If you're ready for the truth to finally come out, hit like, subscribe, and comment. Blood. Leave that word if you believe family is more sacred than faith. I brought her here. Emily stood at the door, eyes wide, hands trembling. She didn't know what I was about to give her, or take from her. Daniel froze when he saw her. For a long moment no one spoke, just silence, thick with years of absence, choices made, and paths never taken. Then she said it. Is this him? Daniel couldn't answer. His voice cracked before he even tried. I watched as my son and his daughter stared at each other like two pieces of a puzzle that never thought they'd fit again. Rebecca arrived minutes later. The tension in the room could have shattered glass. You had no right, she whispered to me. But Daniel finally found his voice. Yes, she did. He dropped to his knees in front of Emily and whispered, I'm so sorry. We sat in silence. That night, the four of us, bound by blood, guilt, and grace. Daniel finally spoke. Not as a priest, not as a son, but as a father. He told Emily everything, not all at once, but piece by piece. How he loved her from afar. How he prayed for her every night. How he thought leaving was the only way to protect her. She didn't cry. She just listened, and then she said something none of nos esperábamos. I want to get to know you, on my terms. It wasn't forgiveness, not yet, but it was a beginning. Rebecca and I exchanged a look, years of pain, jealousy, and secrets melting into something softer. We weren't friends, maybe we never would be, but we were connected now by the child we both loved in different ways. Daniel is no longer the priest who preaches about sin. He's the man who lived one and survived it. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Truth. Leave that word if you believe healing starts with honesty.